If I were to define Amar Chitra Katha and Tinkle as brands and what they stand for storytelling. They stand for good storytelling. And the way stories have been created to suit the mind of a child, A, in terms of the words, and B, the importance of excellence of art in both the brands, in terms of how the characters look, what they do, the way they smile. If it's a comic, the way they fall over something, or if it's a serious thing, the expression on people's faces. I think that's really defines the core excellence of this brand, which has stood the test of time. The other thing is, all our stories are, if I may use the word, timeless. A lot of these stories are 5,000 years old in terms of Amar Chitra Katha. The newer stories are based on timeless values, and I think that's the other core element of our brands. IBH is one of India's oldest and now currently the largest distributors of books and magazines. At one time, when the books market was more organized than it is currently, IBH was Asia's largest books distributor and magazine distributor. What it gives us right now and is really the fact that IBH has direct access to more than 1,200 outlets across the country, probably, and about 15,000 downstream outlets. So be it our magazines, just Tinkle, which is probably India's largest English magazine, bar none today, or National Geographic, or Amar Chitra Katha, we have access to pretty much every nook and corner of the country. So that's important. Logistics is very, very important in this business. What's also important is the relationship that we've had with the retail trade across the country. And that's really very, very important because in today's day and age, what's very critical is credit management. And because of relationships, credit management is much cleaner. I wouldn't say simpler, it's still very complicated, but still much cleaner because of the relationships that we have. We've got people with IBH who were working with IBH for 40 years now. So they know the system like the back of their hands, and it's been very, very, it's a system that's almost impossible to replicate in today's day and age. At the core of every business is the business manager, and each brand has its own business manager. So Aishwarya, who spent a very important 7 years in the magazines business, is the head of Tinkle. Shilpi is the head of Amar Chitra Katha. Ritika is the head of National Geographic. She in Bangalore is the head of Brainwave. So each brand manager is the de facto owner of the business. The way we function is that I report into the brand manager as far as the business of the brand is concerned. I can run the company, but as far as the brand is concerned, the brand manager, the business manager is the owner. Therefore, even Abizar, who heads IBH, reports into the business manager as far as a brand is concerned. And I think that's the unity of command as far as a brand is concerned, which is critical in driving the business forward. In terms of distribution, similarly, Hemant, who's the distribution head of magazines, is the person who manages the magazines business. Victor, who's the business manager on books, is the business manager on books, and both Abizar and I report into Hemant and Victor to run each business. So the unity of command exists in the distribution arm as well. Similarly, in editorial, the editors own the business in terms of what they will do as far as the book is concerned. Suddenly, from a business perspective, if I come and say, I think the book should be written in this way, I would not be saying the right thing. As far as writing the book is concerned, the editor is in charge and I report into the editor. I would like to believe that's been a good strategy, that's been good for the business, it's been good for the brand, and most importantly, the consumers have appreciated us for that. As I said, we are storytellers to start with, and every arm of this company takes forward the premise that we are storytellers, and stories must be taken to the right audience in any form possible. Therefore, one form is the comic book, another form is an animation story, another form is storytelling face-to-face, and the fourth is storytelling on television. And that's really where Ideas Box comes in. They are television specialists, they are below-the-line specialists. They will go to schools, and therefore as an activation arm, they will do storytelling contests in schools. And we've had some really talented kids who've been on stage giving us some brilliant stories, and it's been absolutely fantastic to see those kids and see how talented they are. They go on television and they do the same storytelling beyond ZQ in a pretty decent way. So Ideas Box is an engine in itself. They carry forward the philosophy of Manchitra Katha and Tinkle. And I think doing some very, very good work, some cutting edge work. Again, a lot to be heard from them in the near future. So Karadi is, in my mind, one of the most talented teams in the country, bar none. The quality of product that they create and have been creating over the last 20 odd years has been absolutely brilliant. Audiobooks as a business kind of has seen its sine curve really, and they've been at the bottom. They're coming out of it. And I would like to believe that the tablet as a platform that's emerging is going to inject a whole new life into the products that Karadi Tales has. Karadi Tales has just, in fact, launched the first autobiography written by the Dalai Lama, and it's doing fantastic business on Flipkart, in retail, and we've got very, very good feedback under their imprint called Charkha. And that's really the way ahead for Karadi. We've had some picture books from Karadi, which are non-audio books, and Dorje Stripes won the White Raven Award at the Frankfurt Book Fair. And they probably win more awards than any other publisher in the country. So Karadi is building up its portfolio, they're building up their repertoire of products and services, and you will see again a lot of new action on the Karadi front. So merchandise is really going to be very, very important for us. We've been experimenting and piloting a couple of products and a couple of designs. Great feedback, especially at places like Comic-Con, which now goes across 4 cities in the country. And in the next couple of months, we're launching our first serious retail product as far as merchandising is concerned. And we will give you a glimpse of it in the next month. We're very excited to kind of take that forward. In terms of the digital business is absolutely, and every publisher will tell you this, that 85% of our investments are going to digital, generating less than 5% of our revenues, which is interesting, but that's really gearing up for the future. So the app that we launched across all platforms, iOS, Android, and Windows 8, has done exceedingly well. We've crossed 100,000 downloads in a couple of months. We have been actually selling comics. So the app is a free app, and then you can buy comics of it, and that's going to be the cutting edge finally of the action on the global basis. And we're now pushing the business in the US and UK, where we expect most of the sales to come from. And that's really a $1 million question. When will digital business cross $1 million? Hypothetically, rhetorically actually, is anybody's guess. Could it be next year? Could it be in 3 years? Could it be in 5 years? I'm not willing to put my money on it right now, but clearly what's going to happen is the digital business will grow. What platforms they grow on is going to change much faster than the books business saw change. So that's obviously stating the obvious part. And we are now waiting for a lot of feedback to come in from the people to see what to do next. So the National Geographic story is another story of relationships. IBH has been distributing National Geographic for the better part of 19 years. And when National Geographic finally decided to set up publishing in the country, we had the first choice of refusal. And of course, we would not refuse to publish National Geographic. So we set up the business. We've been in operation for exactly 2 years and 1 month, so 25th month. We've published National Geographic Traveler, and now we publish National Geographic Magazine. And I would say with resounding success. So Nilofer, who heads the editorial for National Geographic Traveler and the magazine, has done an absolutely brilliant job. She, in her second year, won the best travel magazine in the country with National Geographic Traveler. And that is very credible. We've got much older players in the market. National Geographic Magazine continues to be one of the largest English magazines in the country, again. Certainly the most valuable because it's an expensive magazine in India. The content is very expensive. And for it to continue to sell thousands upon thousands of numbers every month is testament to the power that the quality has over the normal decline of the magazine business. So National Geographic Magazine has been doing exceedingly well. We've got a lot of support from advertisers. We've got a lot of support from distributors, as in downstream distributors. And we're very happy with the business right now. That is a billion-dollar question because A, we are a very young country. What, 65% of the population is still under 25, which would qualify as young adults or kids. Fundamentally, a lot of these people should be reading comics and watching animation. A, because it's an easier format to read, and as people are in more and more time constrained to absorb as much information as possible, I firmly believe that comic books are a great way of disseminating knowledge and information to children across age groups, across regions, across classes, and frankly, it's something that should be recognized by the government, and that's really a movement that we have, of recognizing animation and comic book as an industry, which will help us move this business forward